Welcome, beauties. This is our next edition of Coffee Talk. My name is Brenda, and this is Nicole of Beauty of Crypto. And today we want to talk about when you have too many priorities, you don't have priorities. And what we mean by that is when you make too big of a commitment to something and then you can't achieve the goals on it, and not so much achieve the goals, but where you can't do them well enough, then you're not setting your priorities. Because if you want to be focused on a priority or priorities for the week, you want to do them well so they get done to the extent that you want them to, or to the effect that they're supposed to make during that week. And so it's something that if you can't put your full attention to something because you've got so much in your calendar, that should start to teach you that you're putting too much on your calendar. So my advice before you go over to Nicole is put your biggest priorities in your calendar. For me, it's my family and my husband and my kids and what they need from me during the week, because then I feel good that I've kind of done that role for my life. And then I put in all my business goals after that. And then when I realize I've spread myself too thin, then I give myself the allowance to take certain things off the calendar, because those are not my biggest priority. And I do color code things so that I know this is a must to get done. So Nicole, how do you achieve your priority and how you get them done so that you're getting them done well?
Well, I think for me, it's really, and it took me a while to get to this place, but you really have to understand what a priority is, like
Mhm.
understand what the word means. So, one of the definitions for priority is superiority in rank. So, if you have 10 priorities, then you don't have a priority because all 10 of those things can't be superior to everything else. So,
Mhm.
when you talk about priorities, you almost are actually talking about elimination, because by necessity, you can't have 10 things that are important to you.
Right.
I try to stick with three priorities. I pick elements of my life and I pick one priority for each when I'm doing my weekly schedule and things like that. But I think it's really important to understand when I do my calendar, I have 24 hours on it. When you do your calendar, you have 24 hours on it.
Mhm.
And that's it. So you can leverage other people's time and things like that. But where you are actually putting your attention and focus and energy can only go on a limited number of things. And if you are spreading that too thin and you say, okay, I have to do all of these things because all of these things are my priority, well, then you're cutting everything short. So
Mhm.
if my family is my priority, then that means I'm spending more time with my family. More of those 24 hours go to my family. And that means that while I would like to spend, 8 hours at work and 8 hours with my family, I may have to choose because that doesn't leave me enough time in my day to do everything else. So
Right.
I think when you talk about priorities, you're really talking about a selection process that has to be, it may be difficult at times, but necessary.
Right. And I would say too, sometimes certain priorities, even though they're priorities, doesn't mean that they need to tie up, like hog tie a ton of your time.
Right.
So just because my priorities might be my family, my children are mostly grown up now. They don't require a lot of my time anymore. But if I have a priority in my calendar that I want to reach out to them so many days a week, or if I know that they've got a special event that I have to help them out for, or something I have to do, then that time will never change. Like I will not let that, even if it's just 3 hours for my one son for the whole week, because he's a grown man now, but I
Mhm.
need to be there for a certain thing that he's got going on for that week. Cause he's like, my children are in like the creative fields. And so they're like indie filmmakers and filmmakers and all this sort of stuff. So there's certain things online that I have to work with them on. I don't let anything change with that. So again, your priorities don't have to be big, huge amounts of your time. Think of
Mhm.
them some things that could be a small amount of time, but you will not let anything affect that time on your calendar. And my takeaway for that I like you to take away from what helps me out is maybe color code things on your calendar. I use a digital calendar, like on Gmail, and then I
Mhm.
just color code things. And when it's in bright red, that means this must get done, and there's nothing that's going to be around it. So sometimes I even allow a little squish time before it and after it, so that nothing before it will encroach upon it. And if I have to extend upon that because it's such a priority to me, I allow some cush time that if I want to give that event or that person more of my effort, then I do allow that. So what's your takeaway?
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's not all about time. I just think that understanding the priority, you have to understand that there
Mhm.
are limited resources, whether it mean time, whether it mean attention, whether it mean money.
Mhm.
And that's not, a scarcity mindset, but it's just really understanding. So like you said, if you have family time blocked out and there was a business emergency, then you would have to choose one or the other.
Right.
And so that's all I'm saying is really understanding. And I think when you key in on your priorities, like we all have a lot of things that we need to do and want to do and would like to do. But I think when you really key in on your priorities, it helps you get those things, not only get them done, but like you said, get them done well.
Right.
And when I'm doing my like scheduling for the week, as we've discussed before, you and I are accountability partners. I will go back and forth between some weeks I will say, okay, I'm going to try to get all of these things done and I'll have a list of 20 things. And some weeks I will say, there are literally 2 things I want to get done this week. And that's it. And nothing else moves until those 2 things gets done. So I think
Right.
it's important to kind of know yourself and how you operate best. But, really understanding what the word priority means, I think is where you start.
Wonderful. All right. Well, ladies, hopefully you found great value. At the bottom, we have our website, beautyofcrypto.com. Please sign up for our next event on our homepage. We always list 2 events. Please RSVP so you can get the Zoom link. We have an event coming up next week. So next Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Central. So please sign up right away so we know the head count so we can serve you well. And excited to meet you soon. And definitely join our videos every week and have yourself a great rest of your week. Thank you.
All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye, ladies.